You're still waiting for it. That feeling. The one that's supposed to show up before you start. The surge of motivation that makes the hard things suddenly feel doable. You've been waiting for years. Here's what nobody corrected for you. It was never coming first. It was never going to. And the moment you actually understand why, everything about how you've been trying to change starts to make a lot more sense. Somewhere along the way, you absorbed a very specific, very wrong idea that motivated people feel motivated first and then act, that the feeling comes before the doing. It's backwards. Almost entirely backwards. For almost everyone, almost all the time. Motivation, in the overwhelming majority of cases, doesn't lead action. It follows it. Picture the gym you've been avoiding. You don't want to go. You genuinely don't. But you go anyway. Force yourself through the door. And 10 minutes into the workout, something shifts. You actually start to want to be there. That want showed up after you started, not before. This single reversal explains almost every failed attempt at change you've ever had. You waited to feel ready. The feeling never came on its own, so you never started. And because you never started, the feeling that only shows up through starting never had a chance to arrive. It's a closed loop, and it traps people for years without them ever realizing the loop is the actual problem. Not their willpower, not their character, just a fundamentally backwards understanding of which comes first. Action creates motivation. Motivation, waited for in isolation, rarely creates anything at all. There's a reason the advice to just start keeps getting repeated, even though it sounds almost insultingly simple. It works because of momentum, not magic. The hardest part of almost anything difficult is the first 60 seconds, not the whole workout, not the whole project. The specific moment of beginning, while every part of you is still generating resistance to it. Once you're 2 minutes in, that resistance has almost always already dropped, noticeably without you doing anything except starting. This is why setting a ridiculously small bar. Open the document, put on the shoes, write one sentence. Works better than trying to feel ready for the whole task. You're not tricking yourself. You're just correctly targeting the actual point of highest resistance, which is the beginning, not the middle. Here's the trap in its full, brutal simplicity. If motivation only shows up after you act, and you're only willing to act once motivation shows up, you have built yourself a condition that can never actually be satisfied. You will wait, and wait, and the days will keep passing, each one adding to a quiet, accumulating sense that something is wrong with you specifically, that other people just have more of this thing you're missing. They don't. They just stopped waiting for it first. Discipline is simply what fills the gap this whole episode has been describing. The willingness to act in line with what you decided, regardless of what you happen to feel in that specific moment. It's not about having more resolve than other people. It's about no longer treating your feelings as a prerequisite for your actions. You feel tired. You go anyway. You feel uninspired. You write anyway. The feeling is present. It's just no longer in charge. This might be the single most freeing idea in this entire episode. The people whose consistency you admire are not walking around permanently flooded with motivation you somehow missed out on. They feel exactly what you feel. The resistance, the low mornings, the total absence of desire to do the hard thing on a given day. The only difference is they stopped requiring the feeling to be present before acting on the decision they'd already made. That's the entire gap. Not talent. Not a personality trait you weren't born with. Just a decision to stop waiting. Even when motivation does show up, it's worth understanding it for what it actually is. A mood shaped by sleep, stress, weather, blood sugar, 100 variables that have nothing to do with whether the thing you're trying to build actually matters to you. Building a life around a mood is building on the least stable foundation available. Discipline, by contrast, doesn't care what you slept like last night. It's the same decision, applied identically, regardless of which version of your mood happened to show up that morning. Relying purely on willpower, moment to moment, to override the absence of motivation is exhausting and eventually unreliable. What actually holds up over time is smaller and less dramatic. A specific, consistent trigger that starts the action automatically, before the internal debate about motivation even has time to begin. Shoes placed by the door the night before. The document already open on the screen before you sit down. A fixed time, treated as non-negotiable, so the decision of should I never actually has to be made fresh each day. The less that depends on how you feel in the moment, the less that feeling gets a vote at all. There's a specific unhelpful phrase worth retiring. Finding your drive, as if it's an object sitting somewhere waiting to be discovered, after which everything becomes effortless. There is no discovery moment. There is no permanent switch that flips. There is only the decision, made and remade thousands of times, to act without waiting for the feeling to arrive first. And the version of you who does this consistently enough eventually looks, from the outside, like someone with unusual drive. They just stopped waiting for it before they started. Like everything else in this series, this shift isn't made once. It's made over and over in small, unremarkable moments. The 2 minutes started without wanting to. The trigger set the night before. The decision honored on the exact day it felt least appealing to honor. None of it feels significant while it's happening, but it accumulates into someone who no longer needs the feeling to show up first, because they finally understood it was never going to. Motivation was never coming. Not because something is wrong with you, but because it was waiting for you to move first, the entire time. If this reached you today, share it with someone who needs the reminder.